So let us start with a prayer. You can close your eyes and bring your hands in Namaskar Mudra. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormam amrutam gamaya. So, namaskar everyone. My name is Smita, and on behalf of YogConnect, I would like to welcome you all. Some of you know YogConnect already because you are doing yoga with us. Some of you, it is new for you. So, just to introduce YogConnect, YogConnect is a fairly recent organization. We just started last year. Would like to express my gratitude to Nevoxel for partnering with us for this session. And Nevoxel, as some of you may know, is a maritime specialist in HR services. We would like to introduce Madhavi. Madhavi, namaskar, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to YogConnect family.
Thank you.
So, just to share a little bit about Madhavi, I know Commander Madhavi for last 10 years now. And I remember this one particular afternoon, sometime in 2014, when both of us wanted to quit our corporate careers and we wanted to do something. We did not know what we wanted, but we wanted to do something together. And it was a great discussion, didn't go anywhere. And then we both followed our own paths for some time. And as luck would have it, again in 2021, we are together sharing a common passion of yoga and wanting to spread the word of yoga to people. So we are getting this chance to do it together once again. So Madhvi, as you may have seen in the poster also, she was a commander with Navy and has actually quite successfully done many projects and many missions during her career with the Navy. Thereafter, she went on to take corporate job at senior levels and aced it also. And then decided that she wants more from life, and in a way got into yoga, got into natural living, and she also is a marathon runner. She's a wife, a daughter, a mother, and effortlessly wears different hats and aces it all. So Madhvi, we are really happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Smita. Thanks.
And we would like to hear from you, your story a little bit.
Oh, my Jyoti, and thanks for the introduction. And I want to specifically, highlight what you said, wanted more from life. That's why, got into yoga, which is pretty much the case for me. Most of the times people feel that yoga means, sab kuch tyag do, leave everything. And then, when you have everything, you've lived your life, then, yeah, if I have to go into the path of yoga, I have to leave everything and go back. And, it's like monk who sold his Ferrari. It's not just that. Believe me, yoga is not just that. You want more from life. This is a path to follow. And that's pretty much the case with me. So it has been an outside-in journey for me, yoga. So I did my Navy stint and then corporate stint. And then I decided somewhere down the line, I attended a couple of yoga sessions and I decided, yeah, no, yoga is not for me. It is way too slow and way too boring. I can't sit through a yoga session for an hour. So that was me in probably until 2016. Then I just happened to, out of some curiosity, something had to happen in life. So I just happened to join this so-called advanced asanas class. I didn't even know if I'll stand those classes for 3 months, because advanced asanas, I was not sure how I would take them on. But the instructor was so good. I think he understood my, my need for a lot of action. So he started throwing all those advanced asanas at me, see if you can do this, see if you can do this. And I said, oh my God, I'm not able to do it. Let me try, Then he started giving me techniques. And that's how I slowly, I eased into yoga, I should say. Then after that, he said, okay, there's a district competition happening. Why don't you just go and take part? I said, I was not even 6 or 7 months into yoga by then. I said, yeah, what will I do? He said, no, you don't go there for medal, because I'm very, I need results. If I run, I need podium finish. If I do something, I want results. I'm so external. Yeah. At times now, if I think about it, I feel little embarrassed about it as well. But then there is, everyone has a way of looking at things. So he said, just don't go there for medal, and just go there and see what kind of asanas people do. So I just happened to go there. And then to my own surprise, I won a silver medal. And I said, oh, I'm able to do this. Then there was like my journey continued, then there was no looking back. But that was still very much external. I went on to different levels, and I went and won a international gold and all that. But along the way, what happened was I was winning medals that was actually somewhere, periphery on the external aspect of it. It was satisfying my external self. But then along the way, because I was practicing this yoga so much, asanas and pranayama, I didn't even realize my internal journey started. I started thinking about it. Wow, there is so much to yoga, and it is so deep. I said, it is so underutilized. Yeah, in a country like ours, where where the genesis is, it's so underutilized. That's when I decided I should do something more about it. I should really take it outside, and I should really spread it to as many people as possible, to corporate world, where the meaning of yoga has been, it is misrepresented, if I can say. People think that yoga is just sitting and doing some sadhana or doing some asanas and coming out. It's not just that. So that's where I am. I have my internal journey has begun, and then I'm in a way, I'm taking it forward to spread it across to as many people as possible. The benefits of yoga, or the way it can actually transform your life. It can make your life rich. It can empower your life. That's what my mission is all about.
That's awesome. And the enthusiasm that we feel when you talk about yoga, it's almost contagious, So, actually, that weaves in very well with the topic that we have chosen for today's session, yoga off the mat. Like you rightly said, we understand yoga as something that we do 1 hour in the morning as we wake up. Just get on the mat, and some instructor will tell you something, do it, and that's it. That's yoga, which is a great start point, actually, if you ask me, because even to get that going and to do that consistently is not a small feat.
True.
So most of us here in this group, we have been practicing yoga for some time, couple of months to maybe a year or so. And the benefits that we have also experienced is in a way leading us to see how to include or how to make yoga a part of our life. So it's not just restricted to the mat. So what are your thoughts about it, and how you feel we can do this?
Actually, Smita, like you guys have put it so beautifully. I'm really happy with the concept of yoga off the mat. On the mat is just one part of it. If I may say, maybe 1/8 of it. When you look at Ashtanga Yoga, they've put it beautifully. They've explained the way yoga is supposed to be in one's life. It's the asanas are only just one part of it. So it is pretty much a way of life. Like, first, to begin with, when you want to become a yogi, or even to practice sadhana. Yogi, please do not take that word in other sense. It's not about yogi going to Himalayas or doing continuous sadhana. Yogi means whoever practices yoga, like a runner. The one who runs is a runner. So whoever practices yoga is a yogi. So it starts with yama, niyama, pratyahar, pranayam. So then goes dharana, dhyan, samadhi. That we are not getting into that depth. It actually starts with yam. Yam is the way you behave with the society. Your behavior with the society. That's where from it starts. Imagine how thoughtful yoga is. So yama is about, essentially, if I have to put it, it talks about 5 elements: ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Essentially, it's like non-violence, truthfulness. And brahmacharya is, of course, celibacy. It's not, even if you don't want to take it into that depth, it's about lack of lust. You're not lusting after things, non-greed. And it's just about giving. If you look at society as such, it's how you represent yourself to the society. That's what it starts, that's where it begins. And then niyama, it's about yourself, self discipline doesn't again mean that you have to, it's not clockwork precision, not like getting up at 5 o'clock, doing this by 6, doing this by 7. It's not like clockwork. Again, niyam is about yourself. It's about, again, if we have to broadly classify it, ahar, vihar, nidra, what you feed your body, what you eat. And also not just your body, what you feed your mind, the thoughts. The thoughts have to be positive. Like if I take example of corona, the recent pandemic that we are actually going through, people who keep thinking about coronavirus, oh my god, ye mujhe na aa jaye, it's there is so much to it. So the negativity, even if you're taking so many precautions, you keep thinking about it, you actually attract it, because the universe doesn't understand. No, it doesn't understand I don't want it. The universe understands what you're thinking, what is in here. So you keep thinking something positive, you attract positive. You keep thinking something negative, you attract negative. So keep your thoughts to what you really want. You don't say, oh my god, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. That will come to you because universe accepts that whatever you are thinking about. So again, ahar is what you feed your body, what you feed your mind, what are you thinking. And vihar is again movement. It's not necessarily, again, in this vihar comes, you see how little part of on the mat yoga, the entire thing forms a part of. So it is about your exercise, it's about your daily routine, it's about simple getting up and moving. And I like your every day you would send one bit of a piece of yoga in your forwards, like simple sitting in vajrasana soon after food. Again, scientifically, sitting in vajrasana aids in digestion, because the circulation to your lower limbs, lower part of the body is that circulation stops for a bit, and then the blood is pushed to your digestive system. That's how the food gets digested. That's how digestive system gets really activated. So that's a simple yet very profound, very active method of getting your digestion, the digestive system act well. So sitting in vajrasana, and you send something like simple standing erect. We have so many standing asanas. So vihar is all about your movement. Even if you're sitting for 1 hour on your laptop, just get up in every 50 minutes and move around. So that is about, when we are talking about vihar. Nidra is not just your sleep. Of course, you need to get those 7-8 hours of sleep, whatever your body demands. It's also about putting your mind to rest, meditating, or getting those 3-4 minutes to yourself, jumping from one task to other task. You open LinkedIn, there are so many CEOs sending so many messages about how they are actually aligning their day between 2 meetings. They have their me time of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. They don't jump from meeting to meeting, So these are practical aspects of meditation. Meditation is a form of self-reflection. You don't do, we think that we are being very smart by being multitasking. You are eating food in one hand and second hand you're taking phone, or you're going for a walk, so-called exercise, and then you are continuously chatting or with someone or speaking on phone. So that wouldn't really. And then you say, yeah, I go for a walk every day for 1 hour, but it is not aiding anything. It's not resulting. It will not, because your mind is not processing it. You have to help your mind process it. So this is what yoga is about. Yoga is about way of life, how you behave with your society, how you behave with yourself, your body, your mind. That is what yoga is completely about. So asana is a part of it. And asana really regulates it, because every day, normally our body, we tend to bend forward most of the times in normal our day-to-day activities. So when you do asanas, you are improving your circulation. You do a backward bend, you do a twist, you do a turn, you do a side bend, which otherwise you don't give it to your body. So when you're doing all these asanas, what you're doing is essentially you are allowing those parts to move. You're permitting circulation, blood circulation to all those parts. So once a day, you just align your body well, and it is it is ready to up and run. So that's what yoga is all about. So that is
That's awesome. Yeah, like you said, the flexibility of the body creates the flexibility of the mind,
yeah,
which then makes everything else much more easier and joyful. It's
absolutely.
it's much more. That kind of brings me to a very pertinent question. You also spoke about Corona times, and right now, like, most of us are stuck at home and we are having our own difficulties. So, stress is real. Like a
Oh yeah,
couple of years ago, when some doctors used to say that because of stress you're getting some problem, we would say that they are not able to diagnose, so they put it on stress. Everything is about stress. But what we are seeing is it's real, and it is impacting each one of us, and it has got nothing to do with whether you are a CEO of an organization or whether you have a really difficult and tough times. And I'm not talking about trauma related stress,
yeah,
but just the everyday stress. It could be wanting to wake up at a certain time, you put an alarm, and that causes stress. It could be my child is not studying, not completing his homework on time. I get a call from the school, stresses me out. Yeah.
yeah,
It could be behavior of some of my coworkers. It could be my own expectation of how much I want to do. I don't want to be limited by things around me. I want to be an achiever. I want to do certain things. So it could be my own expectation also. So uh, what do you feel about the correlation between yoga and stress management? And of course, there are asanas. There's also pranayam, which we will talk about in a bit. But in terms of continuing with this theme of yoga off the mat, what are your thoughts about stress management and yoga?
yeah. This is one of my favorite topics, Smita, stress management, because I've also been in air traffic control. In the Navy, I was in ATC. So there is air traffic control itself is a very supposed to be a very stressful job across the globe. This is when I came to yoga, I really understood how it aligns the stress, or how it aligns our system. But before that, I'd like to give a slight, a little bit of background about how yoga really helps you connect, or helps you manage your stress. So it is stress is nothing but when your actions and intentions, they are not aligned. It causes stress. You want to do something, but you are acting in a different way. There is no correlation. Like you want to make kheer, but you put sambar powder in it. It causes, I mean, it will never, खीर तो बनेगा ही नहीं ना, क्योंकि तुम्हारे ingredients ही गलत है. So तुमको करना कुछ और है, तुम ingredients गलत डाल रहे हो. You're putting wrong actions, but whereas your destination is different. So that is what causes stress. So in yoga, they again, it's a beautiful principle. Yeah, when you talk about how your actions, or how you how things affect you, impact you. Yoga talks about, at basic level, it talks about Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. Adi Devik is what nature gives us, what God gives us. Maybe you can include even natural disasters, like corona or floods, so whatever. That is Adi Devik. Adi Bhautik is what you get, your body, what this ye sharir jo humko deta hai. Maybe as inheritance, like few people, like there are certain diseases that come as hereditary, that we inherit because of our genes, or whatever the body gives us. And Adhyatmik is what we make out of it, which is in our own hands. जो बनाते हैं हमारी जिंदगी को, और the direction that we want to take our life. So out of these three, what we can make, what is really in our hands is what we can make out of our own life. That is in our hands. Now, when I was reading this book, How of Happy Life, Sanja, I don't know, that's pretty much a Russian name. I don't know if I can pronounce it well. Limborsky, she's the one who wrote, she's a professor in Yale University. She wrote a book called How of Happiness. Now, she explained this concept very beautifully. Again, what you get from the natural disasters, or what you get from your parents, and what you what you get as hereditary and what you can make out of yourself. So 50% of it is genetics. Okay, what you get as genes, as per the research. She conducted this research on few conjoined twins as well to see how much, genetics play a part. And 10% is natural disaster. You imagine we attribute so much to nature and mere saath aisa ho gaya, I am unlucky, The studies indicate that the impact of that is only 10%. Coronavirus ho gaya, ya, going on the road, you are hit with an accident or whatever may happen, natural intervention, nature's intervention. That impacts only 10%. 40% is what you make out of life. Now you may say, mere haath mein to sirf 40% hai, 60% is out of my control. Yes, 60% is out of your control. That's what even yoga says. But how yoga helps you is to embrace that 60%. You align with it, you accept it. The problem is when something is with you and you don't want to accept it, that's when actually the stress starts. That's when that misalignment starts. So you accept what is given to you, and then 40%, pure 40% is in your hands. Make things out of it, make your life out of it. So that is where yoga helps you in accepting and then going forward with whatever you can make out of yourself, in your own hands. Now, how yoga helps when you do your asanas, like I said, you move your body, your joints, or whichever joint you don't tend to move in your day-to-day life when you're walking or normal. So asanas help you in just twisting, turning a bit. You don't need to really do advanced asanas for that. Basic, simple asanas, simple twisting, simple bending, simple side bending and all that, so that your circulatory system comes alive. The body, the energy flows. If I have to come to little more surface level, when I'm talking about energy, your blood flows, your blood flows to all the cells across the body. So your body tends to become energetic. So there is an energy alignment across the body. Like in my electronics class, a professor once asked us, there are electrons, free electrons present in everything that you think, this chair has electrons, that blackboard has electrons, but why there is no electric shock, or why there is no electric flow when you touch it? Because those electrons are not aligned. Each of them are in different directions. So is our body. The energy is not aligned. We have so much of energy, but it's in different directions. Head is pulling it differently, legs are pulling it in different directions. The entire energy is misaligned. So when you sit and do this yoga, the circulation is proper. And when you sit and do pranayama, you regulate your breathing. You don't even need to sit on the mat and do your breathing, pranayama. You can normally sit on your office chair. You can just regulate your breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Few slow breaths, 10 to 15 slow breaths. That will take care of it. That will allow our energy to get aligned. That's why you feel little bit at rest when you do slow breathing. When you are angry, you imagine how your breath is. You tend to breathe faster. And when they say you're happy, you put your finger like this. When you're happy, your both nostrils are active. When you put your finger like this and see, so both nostrils are active. That means you are really happy. So that is what pranayama, or that's what yoga tends to bring out. That's the purpose of yoga in our life. Aligning energy within yourself, accepting what is given to you, and then making the best and most out of whatever you can do. That will happen whether you want to buy a Merc, or whether you want to become a CEO of a company, or whether you want to start your own venture, or you want that simple promotion, you want good grades, you want to do well in studies. Everything begins from within. If your energy is not aligned, things will go astray. So start here, start with your body. Body is a mere tool, to enrich your own life. So start there. That's what it is all about.
Yeah, awesome, Madhavi. I think what you said about the thoughts, intentions, and action being in alignment.
Yes, absolutely.
That really reduces the friction and helps you to lead a stress-free life. That's what it is. But absolutely, most of the time, we're thinking one thing, doing another thing.
True.
And hoping people perceive it in third way, So,
yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So These are some very beautiful points. And friends, we are going to take some questions from all of you. So if there's something that pops up that we didn't address, or something that you want to know more about, just you can either type in the chat, or you can also ask the question. Just raise your hand. Otherwise, towards the end, we will have a few minutes to go over all the questions. Okay. So, coming to, you spoke about pranayam, and you yourself are a pranayam specialist also. So, what has been your experience with pranayam? All of us, again, are doing more of asanas, less of pranayam at the moment,
Okay.
because of different reasons, because we are looking at body fitness more right now. But what are your thoughts about it and your experience?
So pranayam obviously comes after you align your body. After your body feels fit, then only you can graduate to pranayam. I mean, though people tend to do it other way. I always tell people, you want to do pranayam, you do some kind of at least 10 to 12 Surya Namaskars, if not, asanas for about 20 minutes or so. So you need to have that, because the body, the systems in our body, the joint should be open. It's like warming up your own system, before you send that energy to the entire body, like right from your fingertips to toe tips to your head to your nose, all across. When you're doing pranayam, what you're doing is you're actually aligning that energy and sending that energy. How do you send that energy? There are various chakras, along your spine. There are 7 chakras, and if you want to equate it to our system body functions, anatomy, they are nothing but those nerve junctions. There are this bunch of nerves along the spinal cord. They are called as chakras. They are referred to as chakras, though the nerve junctions are actually physical junctions, and there are these nerves that go across the body. In yoga parlance, that is where the nerves, that is the path along which the energy is carried across, across the system through these nerve junctions. So when we are doing pranayam, what we are doing is we are trying to activate those chakras, or we are trying to send that energy, send the breath to the chakras to begin with. In our normal course of time, how many times do you do the backward bend? How many times do you consciously, twist your spine? So when you do pranayam, after asanas, once you do asanas, you've warmed up your body, you've warmed up your systems. And then when you do pranayam, you're sending the energy to those systems, through your nerves. So there are different texts talk about different number of nerves, like 72,000 or 350,000. Hatha Yoga Pratipika talks about 72,000 odd, nadis. And Shiva Samhita talks about 350,000 nadis. So there are different texts, they have different principles, but then essentially this is what it is. So when you do pranayam, when you breathe in and breathe out, when you breathe in and breathe out, you're sending that, you're ensuring that the energy flows into your system, into your spine. And from there, energy is carried through all your systems so that you feel energetic. So when you do pranayam, actually, you tend to feel energetic. You feel suddenly there is rush of blood all across, because that's what you're doing physically. You're actually allowing the blood to flow all, throughout the body and regulate that flow. So that is what it is all about. And there are various studies. Yeah, now recently there are so many institutes are doing so many studies, especially after Corona, the effect of pranayam, like Brahmari. There's an international journal article published about the effect of Brahmari. It regulates our cardiovascular system. It also regulates the blood pressure. And nitric oxide, which is supposed to be very good for the body. So when you do Brahmari, when you close your senses, breathe in and breathe out, that the nitric oxide is generated. So there are a lot of studies. I mean, somebody is scientifically inclined, you can read these papers and you'll be amazed at how this age-old tradition of yoga, how did they imagine, or how did they conceptualize this? So many things can happen in the body through these simple practices. I think Mukund has a question.
Yeah. Mukund, you want to ask question? We also have 2 questions from Antara we will take.
Okay.
Mukund, would you like to ask?
Yes, hi. Hi, guests and participants. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak in the forum. First of all, I'd like to salute Madhvi ma'am for doing this great work. Of course, we are proud of our soldiers, and she has a background of Indian Navy.
Thank
So
you.
let me congratulate on that, and thanks for the service to the nation. My small query is basically yoga also uh, teaches you. I mean, it's a big thing, of
Yeah.
course, but to put it in words, my simple query is, how do you connect with your soul?
How do you connect with your soul? Wow,
Yes.
that's a brilliant question. Actually, we
Because,
can have, yeah, please go ahead.
sorry, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. I had done a crash course in Brahma Vidya
Okay.
about 2 years back.
Hmm?
I had enjoyed that session, and that's the reason I wanted my kid to join this session as well, which Amruta is taking.
Okay.
So my younger kid is a participant in this class,
Mm-hmm.
but I had this, curiosity to understand more about yoga, and there
Mm-hmm.
are many queries everyone might be having, but then this query I had, so I thought of asking you this question. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mukund. So, if I have to answer in brief, about touching your soul, there are yoga is supposed to be apaurisheya. There is no, it is not come from a human being. It is devoid of purush. So we don't know who gave us yoga, but then it is definitely known that it is much more than 5,000 years old. The probably Bhagavad Gita talks about yoga in lot of senses. It talks about more of psychological yoga, but then it's a very old text. So there are a lot of yogis and munis who have interpreted this yoga in their own terms. So today, if we have to refer to yoga, I think there are about 14 to 15 different texts or different ways you can interpret yoga. There is, out of which more popular these days are Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Of course, there is Shiva Samhita, Gheran Samhita. So, and each of them define yoga in a different perspective. Like if you look at Hatha Yoga Pradipika, they say the purpose of yoga is कुंडलिनी को जागृत करना, like your bottommost chakra, उसको जागृत करो along the spinal cord. It comes and touches your Agnya chakra. So kundalini they call it as Shakti, Parvati, and Agnya chakra, this is Shiv. So Shakti Shiv ka milan is yoga. So that is what Hatha Yoga Pratipika says. So it's a beautiful practice. I mean, I am of course way off from that, yeah. But when I sit and do my pranayam, I can feel the rush of energy along my spine. That itself is so beautiful. So but that takes little time. I wouldn't say patience, because when you really love that practice, you would obviously get into it. So that is Hatha Yoga Pradipika ka concept of yoga. When you talk about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they talk about, like I said, Yam, Niyam, Pratyahar, Pranayam, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. They go till Samadhi. Samadhi is, now when you talk to them, they will not say tum yoga karo, asan karo and all that. They'll say just Dhyan Mudra mein baitho, जिस किसी भी स्थिति में बैठो, but आंखें बंद करके ध्यान करते रहो, ध्यान करते रहो, ध्यान करते रहो, and then your soul will ultimately go and meet the nature, because we are, हमारा body भी पंचभूतों से बना हुआ है, entire universe पंचभूतों से बना हुआ है. So you will go and meet your creator, nature. That's what they say. So essentially everybody talks about the body being a tool of becoming one with yourself. That is the concept that everybody gives. So that is what it is. So I would say, agar humko soul ko really, if we want to get to our conscious mind, just sit and dhyan karte raho, and then you can feel that satisfaction or inner peace. It reflects on your face also. Actually, nothing changes externally, but there is so much
internal changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I fully agree with that.
Yeah, that's what it is about.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome. Thank you.
So there's one more question from Antara. She wanted to ask, in this pandemic, work stress, taking care of house, bunch of other work also,
Very
how can
practical, yeah.
yoga, how can yoga help to control mind?
Yeah. So, like I said, Antara, yoga is just a way of life. सुबह से लेके शाम तक आप योगा कर सकते हो. Yoga, it doesn't just mean mat डाल के आप बैठ के, you sit and meditate or do asanas. That's not yoga. So first and foremost is acceptance. That's where it begins. We accept that this is pandemic. We accept that there are a whole lot of household chores. We accept that there is no buy that is going to come. So first thing is about accepting things around us. The stress starts when we don't accept. We want Bai to come, she doesn't turn up. That is the first stress. We accept things around us the way they are. uh, Remember, like 60% is beyond you. Out of that, 10% is nature created. So ये जो pandemic है, pandemic का effects सोच रहे तो वो सिर्फ 10% है. So you accept that 10% and do whatever you can. Like that you need to, maybe you cut down on your breakfast, or maybe you distribute household chores among members. Very practical aspects of it. So looking at it from योग, सुबह से लेके शाम तक आप योगा कर ही सकते हो. Accepting things and then doing whatever is in your hands, aap jo kar sakte ho. And then sitting and doing yoga again forms a part of it, which is again critical, because that gives you your me time, and that gives you your body to flex a bit, that gives you your mind to settle कि क्या हो रहा है मेरे अंदर, या whatever is happening. Even if 10 thoughts come, 100 thoughts come, let them come and go. Every day let those thoughts get flushed, but just give yourself that me time. That is what it is all about.
Yeah. Madhavi, can we take them through exercise, a simple exercise to reduce the stress and anxiety, which can be practiced anytime? Something that you feel.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites is Brahmari. Can we do Brahmari? Is it okay if we do Brahmari?
Yeah, it is okay. We can do Brahmari.
Yeah. So before Brahmari, I would just like to give one concept, Pratyahar. Pratyahar means against Ahar, like not taking Ahar. In this particular case, Ahar doesn't mean the food. Ahar also means what we are taking in through our senses. So as a human, हमारा सबसे बड़ा आहार जो generate करता है हमारा eyes है, तो हम इधर देखते हैं, उधर देखते हैं. There is so much of information our eyes give to our, our brain, that brain हमेशा चालू रहता है. इसको देखे, उसको देखे, वो पेड़ देखो, ये झाड़ देखो, वो उस बंदे को देखो. There is so much. So the moment why we do yoga closing our eyes, or why we do any meditation closing our eyes, firstly we are stopping external feed. हम बोल रहे हैं बाहर का मुझे कुछ अंदर नहीं चाहिए. So that's why we close our eyes. And then once we close our eyes, even if we sit for 3 minutes closing our eyes, our body automatically, we tend to go inside, we tend to go within. Then we start inspecting our body, then we start looking at our body, तब हम बॉडी का सुनना चालू करते हैं. One more thing, sorry, it may be little little drag or away from the the exercise or what we'll be doing Brahmari, but one thing is, this is again one more important aspect I want to highlight. When you tend to know that you have high blood pressure, or you tend to know that you have a heart problem when you go and do this once a year medicals. So but the thing is, it is not on that day that you got your diabetics problem. It is not on that day you got your hypertension. It is not on that day your heart started beating irregularly. It didn't happen on that day. It happened over a period of time. But the thing is, you were never listening to your body. Your body does give you symptoms. Like if you're running a business, you don't visit your balance sheet or your top line or bottom line at the end of the year. You visit it every quarter and you break it down. You visit it every week. You'll have your weekly meetings and you break it down. Every day you will see your actions, whether your team is working or not, whether the clients are responding, whether you'll get this account or not. If you don't get this account, where from you'll generate your next next money. So when you're doing this with your business, why not with your body? This is the tool, isn't it? This is what is taking you ahead. Sit and listen to your body. Your body will give you those symptoms. The only thing is you need to give that time, sit with your body for few minutes each day. Close that external information flow. Close your eyes. Just sit, be with your body. And your body will tell you if there is any problem with your digestive system. Your body will tell you if your heart is not beating well. Your body will tell you if your head is thumping. Your body will tell you. Listen to the body and listen to those symptoms. And then yoga will give you a way to correct those symptoms. So that is how yoga is a way of life. Your body deserves a bit of time from yourself every day. Your body doesn't deserve popping those pills. Your body doesn't deserve a reactive approach. Your body deserves a proactive approach. It's a mandir, it's a temple. So give it wo wala darja do usko. Give it that importance. So that is what yoga is about. That is what sitting, and that's why you need to sit with yourself and do whatever you can do, whatever is possible. So that is what it is. And then when we are doing this Brahmari, so first thing is Pratyahar, we'll close all our senses. So what we do symbolically with thumb, we close our ears. So I'll take you through the practice. First, I'll give you instruction and then I'll take you through. So first, just listen to my instructions. Close ears with your thumb and put your forefingers gently over your eyes, over your eyebrows, middle finger under your eyelids. So essentially, you're closing your eyes very gently. Don't press your eyes, okay? Just close your eyes. And just close your nostrils with your ring finger. Don't close it shut, because you're still breathing through your nose. Just place them. So symbolically, you're closing your senses. You're closing your smelling, you're closing your visuals, you're closing your mouth, little finger around your lips. Okay, so close your senses. Even if the finger position is little up and down, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. Symbolically, you're closing all your senses. But yeah, your ears should be shut. Your eyes should be shut. Nose, you're just placing your ring finger around your nose. You're still breathing through your nose. So this is the position. Okay. And then we'll take a deep breath, and then humming sound. Humming sound is your Om sound. Om sound. Breathe in and breathe out, making this sound. You think Om in your mind and then breathe out. Okay, can we do this? We'll do it 3 times. Your own pace. You don't have to follow my pace, but I'll put my speaker on so that if somebody wants to follow or somebody wants to take a break in between, you can do that. But do it at your own pace, your own comfort, only 3 times. At the end of 3 times, keep your eyes closed, keep your hands back in Dhyana Mudra. Dhyana Mudra is your thumb and your forefinger stuck together. No need to press it, just, okay, other 3 fingers straight and keep them on your lap, on your knees. Yeah, I'll tell you when to open your eyes. Okay, should we go? Ready? Yeah. So close all your senses. Your own pace, your own count. Take a deep breath and breathing out, make that sound. 3 times. Go. Keep your eyes closed and feel the effect of that humming sound. Feel the vibrations. Internalize those vibrations. That is the energy that is getting aligned within your body. Very slowly, you may open your eyes. So this is a very simple practice. And there have been studies, papers published that 5 rounds of Brahmari dramatically changes that nitric oxide in your body and dramatically changes the cardiovascular, the heart pumping, or regularizes the blood pressure. There is this international study, so you can go and read the paper. It's a huge paper. It's a very big paper.
Yes, yes. I have also heard about that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah. So it's an article by International Journal of Current Research and Review, if somebody wants to read that.
Okay.
So these are the vibrations, and there are so many. Even in Harvard, there is this research that is going on now on Mantri Yoga. That is the vibrations that these sounds create.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, we've become a lot more intelligent, a lot more logical, a lot more analytical, that we really need proof for everything. And we need proof from today's time, all this is published in text, age-old text, but then it is difficult for us to comprehend, because it doesn't marry with our current thinking, ye kaise hota hai, how is it? So I'm really glad at least, a lot of European universities, American universities are taking up these studies. They're publishing papers on this so that it appeals to our analytical brains, analytical.
Yeah. That is very true, Madhvi. And we have really moved away from intuition to logic, And the whole process of any spiritual practice is to come back to that intuitive ability, to know that, to get that answer from within,
Absolutely.
So, beautiful. There are some more questions. So one question again from Antara is, what's the best time to do yoga?
Yeah, so yes, there is a prescribed time to do yoga. Unfortunately, again, because of our daily routines, we tend to do it at whatever time is convenient to us, which is not bad. But the best time to do yoga is during around sunrise time, during early morning, or sunset time around evening, when sun is rising and moon is setting, and in the evening, when sun is setting. That is the time that is supposed to be good for yoga.
Yes, the Sandhi Kal, they call it. So
Yeah.
the sunrise or the sunset. But
Just
in case if it is not possible for you to do it at that time, then keep a gap of 3 hours from your full meal and then practice the yoga. It's better to do it than not do it at all.
True.
Yeah, absolutely true. It's better to do than not to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Antara. We have question from Captain Tapas. What you attribute the reason for an increased focus on yoga? Today, I hear yoga being adopted more as a part of stress management. Our institution of marriage, friends, family relationships falling short. Is yoga becoming the prescription to an ailment as compared to being a tool to achieve greater self?
So yoga is certainly a tool to achieve greater self. I would really attribute it, like I took to yoga because I wanted more from life, like Smita had pointed out. But yeah, when you do yoga, what happens is, like technically there are, if I have to really, put it down, when you do asanas, or then after asanas, when you do pranayam, there are 7 chakras that are there along the spine. 6 are within, from bottom of the spine to your neck region. So each chakra has an attribute, Mooladhara chakra, or each chakra. So there is one chakra for your emotions. There is one chakra for emotions in the sense your relationships, the way you behave with others. There is one chakra for your self-expression. vocal cards. It's actually, it represents vocal cards, but then that aligns your self-expression. You would tend to, if that chakra is active, you're supposed to be very good with your self-expression. Why are few people excellent at communication, few people are not? Doesn't mean suddenly that chakra gets activated and people start getting up and then shouting at the top of their voice. It is not that. It just means that the energy flow is such that you become expressive. You tend to express, because a lot of things happen because we are we hold things back to ourselves. So that part of it gets cleared. That part of your being gets cleared, and you become self-expressive. Similarly, you spoke about intuition. When your Agnya chakra becomes active, you become more intuitive in the sense you will know the power. You'll know if I behave like this, what tends to happen, or if this is what is going to happen at the end of it. Lot of the written text or lot of things, the future focus is about intuition, right? Even the studies that are happening, the predictions, the so-called predictions that we do, even in our business world, the predictions that we do, I do this and this is what my business will be in at the end of 2 years or at the end of 5 years. What is it? It's nothing but intuition. So when that chakra is active, your intuition ability is supposed to be very active. So it's the way yoga helps you connect, is it actually connects it. It aligns your body, it aligns your energy, so that each part of you aligns with what you what you want to do externally, or what you want to achieve externally. So it's, at the end of it, it's absolutely a tool for you, for the body to go that step ahead, or maximizing the potential of the body to achieve whatever you want to achieve. That's what it is about.
Yeah. And just to also add that point about, whether marriage, friends, family, I don't think they're irreplaceable or that yoga is trying to compete with that. But what happens is each one of us, we, in our own limited capacity, we are trying to cope with stress. So sometimes our own family members and friends may not be able to help us or, support us in the way that we want them to. So, and that's when you, in a way, yoga makes you independent. It teaches you the art of connecting with yourself, so that not just you, but you will be able to support 100 other people when the time comes. So I think that's the journey, really.
Yeah. And
Short.
also, I want to add one more thing here, because we are talking about marriage and relationships. I attended a program, Landmark. This is, I don't know how many of you heard of Landmark. It's a US based program. They talk about relationships, or they talk about enriching your life. And it's a beautiful program, though you need to have a lot of patience to sit through it. But so what that program tells is about relationships, especially, it's always 100%. Relationship, if two people are in relationship, it doesn't mean you give 50%, the other guy gives 50%. No, it's about you giving your 100%. You are not dependent on the other guy giving his 1% or 2% or 10%. No, it is independent of that. And this is again, they have come out with so much of research that they did on human psychology. And so this is one of the aspects that they said relationships is you 100%. That is when the relationship happens. Because we are talking about marriage, I thought I'll just bring that up.
Yeah,
I do agree that relationships need to be at 100%, because if there is expectations in the relationship, then it's a business transaction, more of that nature. But my concern was more on like in our previous generations, we have had our parents or grandparents. I think the kind of stress ability that they could take on
Yes.
was far more. And that time they were not practicing yoga as much. Today, for the level, even kids in 2020, in the early 20s, are undergoing a lot of stress, and at the same time they're not able to cope up. I mean, are we getting more fragile uh, as the generations go through? Is the whole point. And yeah, I mean, that's where the concern is, because we increasingly are talking and looking at yoga more from, okay, you're under stress, you try doing yoga. No, it is not a remedy. People tend to. It is also a remedy, but it is not designed to be a remedy. It's not a prescription, as the way I understand it. It is a lot about you attaining the next level for yourself. That's the way I mean, that's the way I understand it. So Maybe right or wrong, I'm not sure, but that's the way I see it. What exactly was holding us earlier were these institutions,
Yeah.
the strength of these institutions. So,
And Captain Tapas, actually, I would just like to answer this question. So, what happens is just like Gita, it can be interpreted just as a story at a physical level, it can be interpreted at a psychological level, where you're talking about the good and the bad forces within us. And it can also be interpreted at a spiritual level. All the three levels are possible. Same thing with yoga. You can interpret at a physical level and stay there, or you can go to the next level where you're talking about pranayama, mind control through yoga, or you can go to the next level and actually it should be this way and actually spiritualize the whole thing. So it's like that. So like we in the beginning also we said it's a great start. We start looking at the gross body first, then the subtle aspect of mind, but eventually it has to be devotion, it has to be God realization or self actualization. That is the ultimate goal of yoga, and there is no debate about that.
And I like the point that you made, Captain Tapas, about yoga not being a remedy. Now people started looking at it as remedy. Stress ho gaya, jaake yoga karo. That's not how it works. It's also about making it a part of your daily life. Like if we look at our previous generations, maybe in a lot of ways they were not probably sitting and doing asanas, but they made yoga part of their lives. They would get up at a particular time. There was a lot of terror, there was a lot of happiness or gratitude or self satisfaction in that generation. Now we belong to a generation where we need much more in much less time, and then we are chasing a lot of things, and then we are saying, oh मेरे से हो नहीं रहा, चलो योगा करते हैं, बैठ के योगा, उसके लिए भी हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है, वो भी हमको चाहिए कि 10 मिनट में योगा करो, and then it has to act miracle. So that's where we are. I think that's where we are a little bit faulting.
Yeah.
Now everything is available online, no?
Including yoga, yeah.
Yes, including yoga. So people are habituated to it now.
Yeah. Okay, just in the interest of time, we will go to the next question. Rashmi has asked this question. We generally tend to reflect on the past and plan for the future. I personally tend to oscillate between these two, past and future, which at times creates disharmony. Is it possible to balance the reflection and the plans to live in the present with yoga?
Oh yeah, yoga is all about living in the present. It's a brilliant question. It's not about the past, it's not about the future. Of course, we visit the past because we have to there are a lot of lessons that we learn from the past, and we visit the future because that gives the direction, in which direction we have to go. But that is what they are, past and present. We just have to leave them there. Past belongs to past, future belongs to future. It's in now that we need to live, it's in the present. So when you do yoga or when you do pranayama, again, what happens to your body is you tend to be so self-accepting. You tend to be in this moment. It is magical. You don't have to, like, few people ask me, yaar mere se har roz baith ke yoga nahi hota, how do I make it happen? I said, you cannot make it happen. You sit and do it. I am a classic example. 4 years ago, if somebody would tell me I would talk about yoga, I would laugh it off. 4 years ago, yoga was not meant for me. I was playing squash, I was running, I was into so much of physical activity because according to me, आधा घंटा कुछ करो, पसीना आना चाहिए. Yoga doesn't give me that. So that's not what it is. Yoga is not about every day sitting that. It is self-reinforcing. आप बैठ के तो देखो, आप ये करके तो देखो for about few, it grows onto you. So it does help you. Yes, it does help you live in the present. It does help you accept yourself. That's where yoga comes into picture, and then it does help you realize your fullest potential. Believe me, it's like it empowers you, it enriches you, it takes your life to a whole new level. It's not that yoga is not something that tum sab kuch chhod chhad ke sadhu sant bano. That's not yoga is all about. That may be a part of yoga, but it really gives you what you want. So yes.
Yeah. Rashmi, do you want to ask
One more
something?
thing I want to add here, Smita, if I can. I know we are running out of time. I was watching that French Open final, Djokovic and Tsitsipas. So there's one very, the commentator made an excellent remark. This guy was in his fourth set. He was 2 down, and he played his third set. He was in his fourth set, and Djokovic was so unflinching. If you see his, demeanor and the way he was taking the match through, the commentator said, "This guy, he lives in his present." He did make that remark. So that's so true. He's not affecting that. He was down 2 sets. That's not impacting him at all. He is not probably thinking about main agla 2 set main kaisa karunga. He is living in this serve. He's living in this, in this volley. He's living in that shot. So he lives so much in the moment, and you can see the result. So it's living in the present is what matters, and yoga, yes, will help you live in the present.
Yeah,
Enrich you living in the present. Yeah,
it's a beautiful example, really. So, Madhvi, one question, since you're from the armed forces background, and one quality that we civilians really admire and are also to an extent jealous of in the armed forces is the self-discipline. So yoga again connects very well with self-discipline, and for some reason I have this thought or understanding that you did really well in yoga in such a short span because of this ingrained self-discipline in you. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about it, and how to go about inculcating that self-discipline in oneself?
Okay, so I want to bust a myth here. So armed forces, yes, it is about self-discipline, but yeah, in the academy we get up because we are forced to get up at 5:30. We're forced to go to that drill square. We're forced to do those PT parades. There is so much of, but because they make you do all that through those, through that military training. Otherwise, who would like to get up day on day, no Saturday, no Sunday, every day, get up at 5:30, raining, sunshine. At the end of it, your mind does say, yaar, chodo yaar, aaj to sone do. But then, tum ek din so ke to dekho, that day you tend to spend more time on that drill square. You tend to, so that is the way they impose discipline on you. So we get used to, then what our body tells is, it is easy. Yeah? Come on. I mean, disciplining yourself is easy. Going through a routine in a particular fashion is easier. It is more giving. It is more productive. That's what that tells us. Because in such short span of time, you're doing academics, you're doing your sports, you're doing so much. And suddenly we realize we are able to do so much in this short time because we follow a discipline, because we follow routine. That's what happens. So even in yoga, and yoga, of course, nobody forced me. I just got into it, and then I just got hooked onto it. So the thing is, when you get hooked onto something, it is self-reinforcing. It comes from within to follow that discipline. It comes from within to get up and do yoga for half an hour, 1 hour, 40 minutes. So initially, if it is difficult, like the academy they put us through, if it is difficult, put yourself an alarm, set yourself that time aside, for that particular 1 hour for 6 months, and see, then thereafter, you don't need to set alarm. You would do it. Your body would crave for it. Your mind would crave for it. One more important aspect I want to tell you, one of the gurus told us, which I do follow. Have a set routine and have a set mat, because when you do yoga on a mat, it does carry those vibrations. आपका vibrations वो energy carry करता है. So have that mat and do yoga at the same spot every day at the same time. Again, that is about your energy or your time period, the time that is aligned with your body and mind. So वो same जगह पे बैठ के पढ़ाई करो, same जगह पे बैठ के करो, and same आसन पे करो. आसन in the sense they are referring to the mat or whatever you sit on. So वो same जगह पे, so that vibrations and the energy वो थोड़ा आपके लिए काम करता है. It really, now if you ask me where is a study on this, where is the analysis, I won't be able to produce analytical expression on everything, but I can tell you with my experience it does work for me. मैं एक दिन जगह छोड़ के चेंज करके बैठती हूँ, मुझे लगता है थोड़ा अलाइनमेंट difficult है, but एक जगह पे बैठती हूँ because maybe that place has that energy, that positive flow, because every day वहीं पे बैठ के थोड़ा ध्यान करना, वहीं पे बैठ के थोड़ा आसन करना, वहीं पे बैठ के थोड़ा पढ़ाई करना. So that place, even in my own house, that particular place has that energy flow. सो ये आप फॉलो करके देख सकते हो, एक ही जगह पे बैठो, एक ही मैट यूज करो, एक ही टाइम पे करो, do it, enforce it for yourself for 6 months, and then you don't need to really have any external enforcement. You won't even need an alarm clock.
Great. That's a nice practical advice, Madhavi.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can take one or two more question. Anyone has any other question they want to ask?
I have a question, if I may.
Yes, Amu.
So, in our group, we have marathon runner. We have people who are aspiring for being runners, good swimmers, and there are people who are cycling a lot and they want to take it to a competitive level. Can you help us put some insights on how pranayam helps them in controlling their activity?
The runners, and sorry, I missed your question. What was the question about?
Yeah. So there are runners, swimmers, and people who want to cycle and take it to a competitive level.
Okay.
And they are also advised by their trainers to do yoga and pranayam. So could you just put some light on it, on how pranayam helps them improve their...
Okay, so I have been a runner, I used to run half marathons, and like I said, if I have to run, I need at least few podium finishes. So and again, for running, I'm fortunate to have an excellent coach, who took me through bit by bit, step by step. So that is one part of it. And secondly, along with running, I used to do yoga. So I didn't know actually I was supposed to do this, but then because I was doing yoga, it was helping me in my running, getting my output better and better. And because I was running, my yoga was getting better and better because my body was more supple, it was bending more, it was becoming slimmer and it was becoming more active. Yeah. So yoga does help when you go for run, before running, you do some warm up, in the form of warm up, you can do Surya Namaskar. That's an excellent warm up because it gives you complete forward bending, backward bending, everything along with breathing. To your body. So you can do Surya Namaskar before going for a run. After a run, actually, again, you can do Surya Namaskar, but the Surya Namaskar that you would do after a run would be holding each asana because you're stretching your body, because after a run, your muscles are really stressed out. So you need to really stretch your muscles to release that stress. Or there are so many asanas that you can do post the run, the Paschimottanasana, or, there are so many asanas for each of your muscles, your calf muscles, your thigh muscles, your back muscles. So there are so many stretches you can do, excellent stretches. And yoga, yes, yoga has some excellent postures. If you don't want to call it yoga, you can call them postures, but then brilliant postures so that your body really eases out after a run. A backward bend, like Ushrasana, complete backward bend, if some can do. Paschimottanasana, complete forward bend, as you can do. So excellent postures to really release the stress from all your muscles.
Hi, Commander Madhavi. Myself,
Hi.
Jaswal. First of all, sincere gratitude to you for joining us for this session and enlightening us on this, yoga off the mat. Okay.
Thank you so much.
When we say yoga, many people think, it's all about, just detaching yourself from everything and then, sitting in the asanas and doing this. And actually, these are the people I know, who don't realize the tremendous benefit that this experiential science it has.
So yoga, actually right now we are fortunate to have so many institutes like YogConnect, which are giving their everything so that, there is a tool where people can come and sit and do yoga. But otherwise, if you look at yoga as a practice, as a science, it is only for seekers. Like my father-in-law, he's about 79, he used to detest yoga. He says, yaar, jo yoga mein jaate hai, and he's an Air Force officer, he's a retired Air Force officer. He says, I'll never get into yoga because jo yoga mein jaate itna pagal ho jate, uske alawa kuch sochta nahi hai. Actually, he said that. But after I got into yoga, I slowly got him into this. He has knee problem. Now he couldn't walk straight. Now he climbs stairs. Now I take sessions for my family, just for my family. So now the day there is no session, he says, Madhavi, why there is no session today?
We would like to really thank all of you. Just in the interest of time, we'll have to stop now. But if there are more questions or something you would like to ask Madhvi, you can always write to Amrita, and we will reach to Madhvi and get the answer for you.
Thank you so much. And it is so heartening to see so many kids sitting and, sitting through the session. Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are doing wonderful job. YogConnect, that you're getting the kids aligned to this wonderful practice.